tough guy, punk ass bitch, whining. Hey, come defend me, you little group of middle-aged haters, got no life. Come help me, Andy Cruz, against that big bad Sam here. No, one-on-one. Yeah, because you can't handle me, you punk. This creep tries to make me, Groovy Sam Hill, responsible for what punk is. Andy Cruz said his words. I'm responsible not. Andy Cruz chose. I didn't know this group. He goes on some channel. Yarda, I don't know, man. And they're Chicano and cool, and I respect most Chicano men. Andy, you're a wimp, dude. And most of the people who defend you are like middle-aged or older women. You got Whoosh, who condescends. Littlefoot, I don't need to have you on, dude. You're not a star. You're too robotic. You're going to condescend to me after I'm nice to you. You come on with a good lady, it seems, Kelsey, and good for you. That's the important thing, you two. And God bless you and Kelsey, real life, hanging together. But Woods, you two are kind of a wimp. We're being honest, right? And wimps can make good husbands. And I think you and Kelsey will do well together. But really, Woosh, you make like, I really respect you. I call you Littlefoot, dude. I don't dislike you, but you got no spine. Right? You're in the right place. Wimpy Cruz. Andy Cruz, the wimp. And I'll get to chat. I'm just defending myself. What a piece of shit Andy Cruz wimp is. You're the one dummy who declared war on me because of some nothing loner ugly zoo. This lady who lied about May Noodles and got caught. Your zoo who lied and said May Noodles swatted a zoo, brought her son into it, said a zoo did. Her son was so traumatized by the SWAT call that an ambulance was, what a creep you are, zoo, to bring your kid into it. And it turned out a zoo made the whole thing up to get it made prettier, more popular, gets attention, funny, compared to you, zoo. You're so wimpy, zoo. I just said you're not my type. I don't find you attractive. Your haircut is a mess. But what does it matter? I'm just some dude giving my opinion. I give my opinion, and then the zoo just makes up I abandoned my kids. What a loner creep you are. That's your dame, huh, Andy Cruz? Dude, that's your life. I liked Andy Cruz. I thought he was chill. I'd go on his stream a little bit. He'd come on mine. And then one morning, he goes to war on me for the zoo, I guess. Andy Cruz said, Sam Hill, you write so much and you do shenanigans. You run to May, you run to zoo. I said, dummy, at that time, I had no means communicating with me except online. And I write too much? Guilty. I'm a good writer. I'm a good reader. I'm smart. And yeah, like O'Grady, we write a lot. We have a lot in our minds. We can't communicate and deal with issues. Oh, you say you want to talk about Trump. Andy did a stream on Trump because he's so qualified. Dummy, you're not that smart. I thought you were likable. But Andy Cruz is a hate monger. He hates and hates and hates on me. I'm just some dude. Dude, get a spine, you wimp, Andy Cruz. So YB Clips, I call out. YB Clips, you're a creep. For doxing, I think you doxed Andy. What a creep. Why can't you go at Andy the fair way like me? So I said, YB Clips is a creep. But that doesn't mean that YB Clips can't state a truth. But YB Clips was not the one speaking on a public site of, I think, primarily Chicanos, maybe all, called, I don't know, Yarda, something like that. And I went to check out what Andy was saying on Yarda. And Andy's talking about fingering a 15-year-old. Now, I don't know the age of Andy. This YB Clips, who I don't necessarily believe will always challenge, said that Andy was 19. I don't know that. But 19, 18, 15, it's not good. It's weird. It's creepy to be fingering a 15-year-old girl in the back of a car, which Andy said, not me. Andy Cruz, you little wimp, is holding me responsible for Andy's words. That's creepy. He talks about on this Yarda fingering a 15-year-old girl, and he says, oh, you were younger? What, you were 15? Were you? How old were you in Utah? 19? Dude, you're a wimp. Rather than be a man and go one-on-one, and he says he's not going to do one-on-one with me. The most honest way of fighting or talking, because you can't hang with me. You're not a good streamer. And he says he can't monologue. Oh, number one, he can't monologue, but he can complain and blame me and scapegoat me for words that Andy Cruz said on Yarda. And the Yarda, these are not white Irish Americans like me. These apparently in Yarda are Chicano men. You're Chicano, right, Andy? These are your ethnic type? I don't know. I'm not Latino, but I can comment when a creep says he's fingering a 15-year-old in a car. Oh, is this the same wimp creep who slandered, smeared me, called me an anti-Semite? He took $200 or more from a lady who described herself as a pay pig, right? Pay pig for Laura Perplex. Pay pig to me. Gave her thousands of dollars. That's what she does. Buys friends because she's a lousy streamer, a lousy person. Once she tried to scapegoat me because I repeated what May Noodles said. May Noodles was her, quote, friend, unquote, and friends tell each other things. This is not me saying this. This is May Noodles. So I qualify it. May Noodles said that Pay Pig's husband, May Noodles said Pay Pig told her, May Noodles, that Pay Pig's husband choked her. Choked her. What a creepy thing to do to anyone, man, especially to a weaker woman. What a creep your husband is. I don't care, Pay Pig, that you're a terrible human being, that you slander, you make up, you have no skills, that you made a stream making a musical comedy about me being sexually abused at 16. People know you're a creep, but you pay and you hate, don't you, Pay Pig? May Noodles and you were friends, and friends talk, right? Now, Pay Pig, you make all the doxing that May did completely on May, when we know the truth. You fed names to May. You were part of May's nefarious negative side. And then she changed. She got rid of you. People get rid of you, don't they, Pay Pig? Well, yeah, you're a bummer. You're no fun. You're a hater. You have a terrible personality. Don't I have a right to my opinion to say that? And you know it, don't you? People don't be around you. But if you give them money, if you hate me, wimps like Andy Cruz do. Andy said you gave him $200. Andy, I guess, is proud that he had to beg Josh X, a good guy, for money to buy shoes. But, oh, successful wimp Andy can't attack me one-on-one. He says, oh, he can come up, Sam Hill, but I don't really want him. I don't want to be with you. I smashed you. You can't go one-on-one, Andy the wimp. You need this group of haters, middle-aged or older women, don't you, Andy Cruz? Andy says he can't monologue. And people say he's number one. He can't monologue. He can't speak. You can't speak for yourself, wimp Andy Cruz. But yeah, attack Sam Hill. He'll get views. He'll get haters because I say the truth. This Pay Pig, that's not a nice term. She called herself that. That's what she does. You don't want to say the truth. Everybody know it, Pay Pig. Everybody know you're not good as a streamer. Oh, I purposely took a break, week and a half, and there's no streaming from Pay Pig. All you got, you dummies, are your hate. Andy used to be a nice guy, but maybe you weren't. How old were you when you were fingering that minor? Now, I don't know the law on that. Were you 19? Let's say you were 15. It's still creepy. You're still a creep. And you're the one who said you left Utah because of something to do with a girl you worked with. The elder Mormon lady got mad at you. And you never came clean with that, did you, Andy Cruz? At first, he said he was throwing bread at this girl, and he got kicked out of Utah because a girl wanted to go to prom with Andy. That story stinks. You want to believe it? You want to buy a bridge? I'm defending myself. I'm defending myself with words. And people want you to go to court on me. People want to dox me. But you, Andy Cruz, are the one that doxed May Noodles. You said, oh, it was a mistake. Okay, one time. What about 2, 3? You doxed May 8 times. You said you wanted to orgy with her, probably online, because, yeah, I think you got ED. But you said it, and then you joked, huh? Oh, I was joking. I said, let's orgy. Online, right, Andy? You liar. I was fine with Andy. I thought he was fun streamer. I made 4 streams pro Andy Cruz. And then he declared war on me. What did I do? Oh, he got a simp for this lady who was a correctional something and let out inmate. The one who made up the story made it up, saying that May swatted her. Made it up. She brought her kid into it. Oh, my kid was so traumatized by the SWAT. Don't bring up your kid. And it was a lie. It never happened. It never happened. You, Andy Cruz, are a wimp. None of us are big streamers. But you pretend to be with your so-called numbers. Andy Cruz, you can't monologue. You're a phony. People think you're nice. You're not. You call me an anti-Semite when I respect the Jewish people. Oh, did you say that because a pay pig gave you money and this pay pig falsely accused Beck and got her channel down? Pay pig based on a false accusation. Like you, Andy Cruz, tried on me. People follow me. I get rid of people who are anti-Semite, who talk about the Jewish people who have been scapegoated. I get rid of those people. I was married to a beautiful Jewish woman. The Jewish culture has contributed so much to the world. They have many Nobel Prizes, Jewish people. A Jewish man helped prevent polio. Wonderful writers. Now, like any group, there's bad ones. But as a small minority people, Jewish people have contributed so much good. The Israelis, the soldiers, are wonderful, wonderful warriors defending against Arab states who want to nuke and destroy them. So I don't always agree with Israeli policy. I don't agree with their settlements, but I support the Jewish state. You dig? And he smeared me. He smeared me just like Paypig smeared Beck, and played some evil card, getting Beck her channel down based on a false accusation. And you support that, wimp Andy? What a creep you are. Rather than go one-on-one with me and talk things out, you bring up your hate parade and you bring up Whoosh. Whoosh, I don't have a problem with you, but wimp, can you relate? Don't condescend, Whoosh. I don't need you. Never have. You don't really bring people. And I don't, you came on Shaw. I didn't ask you to. And I was polite to you after you started attacking me. We talked it through. And as much as I don't think much of you, Whoosh, I wish you well. This is YouTube. Kelsey seems like a good woman. So good for you. And I said that, and you know that. But Whoosh, you come up and condescend to me? Dude, I'm much better than you, Whoosh. You don't seem to get that. You're robotic, and I kind of like your intellect, but dude, you have no passion. Just, you were a big streamer because of Joey Boots. The truth, right? Because of another guy, whoosh, who talks about you, whoosh, who talks about Andy Cruz, but me. Nobody talks about Andy Cruz. Hate, like, Andy is not relevant, but when he talks about me, of course, he's relevant to me attacking me, but who gives a fuck about this wimp? So Andy Cruz, I listened, went on this Yarda and talked about fingering a 15-year-old, and you expect me to be fine with that? You said it. Those were your words. I'm not responsible for the Chicano men calling you chomo. I didn't call you that, but it is weird, and I don't think appropriate that you said, Andy Cruz, you fingered a 15-year-old. Are you going to say you were younger? Okay, let's say you were 15. It's still creepy, and I don't even think legal. Were you 15? I don't know. You said, or according to this other guy, that you claim to be 15 in Utah or something. He knows, unfortunately, your birth date and called you out as being 19 in Utah. Were you 19 when you were fingering that 15-year-old that you said you were doing? I don't know. 15, 17, 19, it's creepy, it's wrong. The girl was 15. You shouldn't have done that, but you did. Oh, people love Andy Cruz. Oh, what do you all say about that? Well, he was younger himself, so he fingered this 15-year-old in the car. So what? A 15-year-old should not be touched that way. She's a minor, whether you're a minor yourself or not. You're not 5 years old, Andy Cruz. But you don't want to take responsibility for that, do you, Andy Cruz? No responsibility. How about the time, Andy Cruz, you made a stream making fun of my essay when I was 16? I was 16. Oh, it wasn't bad enough. You were making fun of it on a stream. You added details that did not happen. Something about an alley. What a creep you really are. But now I was blind, Andy Cruz, thinking you were cool. But now I see, Andy Cruz, you wimp. Worse than that, really, I don't care who's a wimp. You're a hate monger, and you smeared and you smeared and you speared me. And I wouldn't talk to the guy until he took it back. And Andy came up and said, I don't remember calling you that, Sam Hill. I don't remember calling you an anti-Semite. You know I'm not, Andy. Andy, the wimp, said, yeah, I don't think you are. Then why did you smear me? Why did you smear me? Andy Cruz, you're not a great streamer. You can be funny. I used to think you're chill, and then you changed to call it out, and people like Heather said, Andy, get back to groovy. But you haven't. I am not responsible for your failure of a life. Am I right? Now, is 51 driving an Uber, having no money, begging for shoes? Is that the life you all want and respect? I respected you when you were funny, but you're a hate monger, you're a liar, and your brigade of people coming up are mainly middle-aged or white haters. That's your crew, Andy Cruz. I don't want it. Well, he says, oh, I get views. Dude, 40, 50, 60 live views, which you really don't get that often, is small stuff. I don't pretend I get great views. So Andy's weak. He supports a boycott. Doesn't work. From who? So I am friends with Lauren. Had a great stream. Tiffany, even vids came up. Got over 1,200 views, which is not big, folks, but it's big for our little world. It's big comparably to Shaw, and the boycott is bullshit, does not work. I don't call for boycott of Andy Cruz. You want to see a lesser streamer that nobody talks about, go over there and pat yourself on the back. Oh, Wish is appearing on Andy Cruz, the big streamer. You used to be funny and fun, and I would have called you a good streamer, but you've gone to hate. You're nothing, Andy Cruz. Because you declare war on me? What a creep you turned out to be. And I've noticed some of the things you've said and picked up on it, Andy Cruz. And yeah, I want to listen. I want to hear your own words. And don't call me a friend of YB Clips. YB Clips, you're a slime bucket. And I called him that, and I call him that now because he doxes. And I don't support you. I call you out. But YB Clips did not say he fingered a 15-year-old in the back seat of a car. You did, Andy Cruz, and you hold me responsible for what you said. Andy went on Yarda. I don't even know what that is. There appeared to be Chicano men who were calling Andy Cruz a chomo. I didn't call Andy Cruz a chomo, but it's troubling. I'm not sure what to call you when you said you fingered a 15-year-old in the back of a car. People talk about history. They go back decades attacking me. Andy Cruz admitted he sold drugs. He still has gang people he likes. Are you associated with gang? So this group, mainly white, elderly women, think it's fine that you sold drugs, right? Do you think it's fine that he fingered a 15-year-old? And I keep mentioning it because Andy called me out for mentioning what Andy said. What? Top streamer, huh? Andy will not face me one-on-one. And actually, I'm done. So we agree. I've smashed you. You can't hang. You're not that smart. Been there, done that. Andy said, oh, you can come up, but I don't want him to. Yeah, you wanted me to, but I will not. I'm done with you. So we agreed. I smashed you. You can't do it one-on-one. I don't need you to come up with your second-tier hate brigade. Wish, you don't need to come up again. All right, I do wish you a happy wedding, right? That's important. But you're not heavy, and you're not my brother, Wish. So you can condescend me, but I'm smarter than you, and a much better streamer than robotic Wish. Who else? Lauren likes you, but you like Lauren that he smeared me, that he's a punk, and he can't go one-on-one. Really? Well, Lauren is too good. She likes many people, and I don't agree with her, but I support Lauren. uh, liking people, retaining friends, even though sometimes those people stab her in the back, right? Like Lauren was friends with Scotty once. Scotty. Scotty. What a creep. Uh, Scotty got mad at me because she came up with Lauren on Shaw for that. This is a likeness. It's not really her. For like the 3 times. I'm so bad. Scotty came on Shaw 3 times. I'm not bad. I'm fair. And Lauren just smashed Scotty, and Scotty blamed me the first time after Lauren just smashed a liar, I think a scammer, and people now know it, don't they? And that's why I said my opinion, Scotty, I think you're done. But after I brought her up the first time, and I asked before she got off Shaw, have I been fair to you, Scotty? She said, yes. Yes. She said, yes, I was fair. And then afterwards, when she realized she got smashed, destroyed by Lauren, she blamed me. She said she wanted me off the internet. Scotty, yeah, you went on Andy's, right? But I think people know about you now, and your numbers have been going down. And I just don't say that because you're mean. Darling Nikki slandered me, but I will say that Darling Nikki is successful, growing audience, and she's not done. She might even be getting more popular. But you, Scotty, really, you're mean, and people know that. And who are you to give advice when you say you're currently with a man who went to jail because of DV against you, and you're still with him and you're giving advice? Lauren mentioned that she thought she heard you say or thinks you took a wooden board and you were going to hit your boyfriend or did hit him. Scotty, you're done. You're kind of smart, but you're mean. You're done. People think, including me, my opinion, that you scam, that you don't work, that you scam, you want donations. I commented on an ugly truth. Scotty, you had a birthday stream and invited people up. It's my birthday. Come on, it's my birthday. Come on. Here it is, the link. Come on, it's my birthday. And nobody came up except Vids, an opportunist. I felt bad for you, kind of, until you open your yap and you attack a good lady, Lauren. And now you've been attacking me. You go on Andy Cruz. Scotty's your friend, hot Andy. He only has top tier like Whoosh, right? Whoosh, top tier. Condescends. Says Whoosh is only going to go up recommends going up twice. I don't want you, Whoosh. You bring nobody. People think you're robotic. I kind of like you because I like good conversation. And I think Whoosh and I can have good conversation. But dude, you condescend. I'm so much better than you. I don't depend on years ago becoming popular because of another man named Joey Boots. Whoosh. Sorry, not sorry. I think you're intelligent. I like being on air with you, but you're not top tier and you condescend. I don't think Whoosh is a hater, but you need to be on Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz is a hate monger. Andy Cruz supports a pay pig who took down Beck's channel on false accusation. You have no trouble with false accusation, do you, Andy? He smeared me, called me an anti-Semite, then said he couldn't remember, but I'm not because I'm not. I defended Israel, defended the Jewish people. I think they've been scapegoated, and anybody going against the Jewish people, I get rid of. I get rid of. I get rid of. Not like you, Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz talked about a Jewish nose. What? There's a, is that sign? There's no Jewish nose. That's an anti-Semitic trope that the Nazis used to use, and now Andy's talking about a Jewish nose. I'm not calling you anti-Semitic because you misused a word in a vile way, but I'm not calling you that, Andy, based on misuse of two words. But you support Paypig, who brought down a good lady, Beck, on a false accusation based on two words that Beck used unpolitically, but never in a bigoted way. And fair people know that Beck can be drunk. She can go at you, but she's not a bigot. She's not. She respects or tolerates people of any religion. She's not a bigot. And I'm not an anti-Semite, but Andy wanted you to think that, oh, those who don't know me for years, those who don't know that my first wife was Jewish. I've had many Jewish friends, certainly in college. I respect Jewish culture. So, Andy Cruz, you were revealed. And Andy can't pretend. He has on, he loves Zoo. Zoo, who talked about another streamer's kids being removed because the streamer mentioned she didn't, that Zoo's child, who Zoo talks about, that this streamer said something about googly eyes. Okay, not nice. I think the kid looks fine. I think I'm not ever attacking Zoo's parenting. I think you love your child and your child loves you. But you, Zoo, you bring up your kid. And I told you a couple of years ago, do not bring up your child. If you bring up your child and keeps talking about how beautiful he is, which most parents should say about their kids. Our kids are beautiful to us, right? But I don't want to talk about my kids. You think I want to trust talking about my kids with some of these slime buckets? I don't, except generally I die for my kids. My kids are doing wonderful. I have a very, very civil relationship with my first wife because we both agree that children need, most of the time, unless one's abusive, children need both parents. And divorce is a wreckage because it takes children out of one home. And that's my biggest pain, that I can't grow up with my kids in my house most of the time. They visited, and the agreement is that when my children become older, they'll come live with me and then go see their mother. But I'm not going to talk a lot about that. My kids are doing wonderful. Oy vey, the opportunity my children have. And they have the world opportunity, but I expect them to contribute. Whatever I say about my parents, and I go after my father, there was always the idea that we have privilege as kids, and we need to do something and contribute. And I've been lazy all these years because I don't need to work, but I'm going to go try to do something not the scumbags support it. And I stopped talking about it when people said they're going to show up and make sure that I don't have a chance at succeeding based on YouTube. Well, on YouTube, I've never doxed. I've never wished ill health. I never said I'd pull up. I never smeared someone calling them a bigot when they're not. But you did, Andy Cruz, did you not? So it interests me that a Chicano man and others call out Andy Cruz. Call out Andy Cruz. I don't even know what that's about. Andy's not macho, but you don't have to be macho to be a good man. So I'm curious, why are your worst attackers fellow Chicanos? I asked. I don't know. Is it because most Chicanos or a lot of Chicanos tend to be very masculine, right? Isn't that a tenet of your culture, to be very masculine? I don't put you down for not being, right? Some great people have not been the most masculine. Some gay people, like Michelangelo, have contributed great things. There's a Democratic contender named Buttigieg, who is the mayor of a town, and he's openly gay, and he's openly gay married, and he's very articulate, he's very smart, and he's very popular. And I don't care that he's gay. It's interesting because he's going against a lot of anti-gay reality. But check out Buttigieg. I don't necessarily agree politically. I think he's too liberal for me, but he comes across as a classy guy. He could make a lot of money in the private sector. You get my point. There's good and bad, dude. And I don't like bigots. And I don't like being falsely accused. I don't like being falsely accused of you, Andy Cruz. This is a likeness of his supposed girlfriend. A real creep. The creep said I abandoned my kids. Ask any of you parents how vile that is. A parent who abandons his or her child is scum. You were part of creating that child. You have responsibility. And not only that, having a child improves one's life. Having a family improves one's life. Generally, it makes us better because we have to sacrifice. When you're alone, you tend to be selfish because you have only yourself to care for. But when you're part of a family or a group of people, you need to sacrifice and always be thinking of what's best for my kids or your kids. What's best for my wife? My wife. I just didn't stay one night with her and my carpets are clean. My wife and I have been happily married for 8 years. Happily. Our biggest fights are over I raise my voice. We fight maybe once every 2 months. And the fight, the worst it gets is my wife throws some books on the floor. I don't know if she got that from me. I think I did that a couple of times. That's it. That's it. I've been married, many relationships, never had so little conflict in any relationship as with my wife. And people attack that. People attack that. People smear me and my wife. So I tell the truth. And the last stream, I shared a letter from my wife, like 8 years ago, from my wife. I had married her, and it took a while to get her to America legally, of course. And before she came to be with me, we'd write, talk on the phone a little bit. It's kind of hard with her accent. And uh, not write as many letters. But so I read a DM to share. I don't want people to buy into the lie that I bought my wife. I clearly did not. You don't go to the Philippines, even the scumbags, and buy a nurse. It's not good to do. I call it out. But slime buckets go and they pick the poorest of the poor Filipinos, and the family basically gives in so the family can get money. Yes, that's true. But that's not me. That's not me. But people want the lie. So in the past, I've tried to show people the lie, and she would come up. But after she was called a prostitute on air by Little Revis, a real slime bucket, who, by the way, Little Revis, Andy seems to like. I think the last time I heard Little Revis, Rev, on Andy's, he called Andy a chomo. And Andy kept him on. Why would you keep somebody who calls you a chomo on air, Andy Cruz? But he did. I'm not calling you that. I'm saying specifically, it's not right in my value system. It might not be right legally. I'm not saying that, but honestly, you, Andy Cruz, said, I heard you talk about it. You fingered a 15-year-old in the back of a car. Back of a car. Oh, that's cool. No, it's not cool. Whatever age you are, it's a minor. She's too young. You can't legally give consent. You know that. She could not give legal consent when you said you fingered her, you creep. And that's it. I defend myself with the truth. And I'm offended at the hate stream that Andy did on me. I'm offended that he went to war on me. I'm still not sure why, because I write too much? No. He said I did shenanigans. I'd run to May, I'd run to. No, I could not communicate. I didn't have a means of communicating with May. No. What I did do is I broke with May, primarily over doxing, but I also broke because I didn't like that Allie, with May's support, took away Zeus' wrench and basically kicked her off. What did I do? Not just words. I put my time into supporting a lady I personally really didn't like. But I still think that Sue, even though she slandered me, I still think that Sue deserved a conversation over at May's when she supported May, instead of just having her wrench pulled and basically being kicked out of the group by Allie and May. Even though Zoo slanders me, I still defend Zoo and say you were removed unfairly. Zoo was removed unfairly by Pig and May. And I broke with May. But May had so many bad people around her. Do you think Pig helped May by feeding her names so that both of them could dox? Do you think that helped May? No. Anybody hangs around Pig suffers, right? I get that, right, Pig? And that's one of the reasons you don't like me. Well, attack me fairly, but don't Pig make a stream making fun, mocking my sexual assault. Don't do that and expect you to be treated with respect. who respects that. Even a lady who obsesses on me now, who I once liked, did not sign onto that stream, pay pig. It's Allie who I called out. Allie lies about me. She said the essay that she said she went through, and I believe, destroyed her life. No, I say that people who go through the experience of being abused are damaged, are damaged. They could have a great life. There's been wonderful people who suffered. I say that what happened to me was not as horrible. It was horrible, but not compared to what this lady said she went through. I was sensitive, but that didn't make you a bad person. You became a bad person on your own. That being abused is damaging. I don't apologize. It's damaging. It takes away a childhood. Takes away a childhood. It murders a childhood. So of course it damages. What was done to me damaged me, but it didn't stop me from becoming groovy. We all have horrible things happen to us, and that's one of the worst. So she lies. You lie, Allie. You just make up stuff. You make up stuff, and the haters believe it. And I'm here to defend myself righteously, not by making a stream, making fun of what this lady went through. It's horrible and criminal, and I feel bad, as I feel bad for anybody who's experienced abuse and are not heroic. Everyone should feel bad. I think even the evil people might know they're evil, but you lie and you're not a good anyway. Do people really believe she's got the personality for streaming? All you do is hate. Hate will get a crowd, right? Hate will get a crowd. But are those the people you want? I don't want them. I kicked them out. I kicked out people I don't like. And Andy and others kept saying, oh, they won't come back. I don't want them back. Some of them, like MYK, I missed the political arguments, but then he smeared me. He smeared me. So I don't want you back. Are you kidding? Do you think I want Andy's life? Do you think I want the personality of Pay Pig? I like myself. I make mistakes, but that's why I have self-esteem, not because I can get 1,200 views on a classic stream. Yeah, I want. It's down for now, but I'll put up the classic stream that Lauren helped make wonderful. And Scotty, you too. I fairly presented a forum that Scotty and Lauren could talk, discuss, go at each other for hours. Let people decide. Let people decide. But Weak Sauce want to boycott. This Pay Pig wants to boycott. She's the doxer. She fucked up the integrity of May Noodles. Well, May Noodles got to take responsibility, but with a better friend, May might not have been as doxing prolifically as she did. And when Brutal Mafia, whatever you say about him, and I call him out, but I think he's being framed, when Brutal Mafia got rid of the hateful people around May got better. So that's a good thing about Brutal Mafia. Though I call out Brutal Mafia too. But do not frame Brutal Mafia. Don't frame anybody. When Brutal Mafia does something wrong, call it out. But people framed Brutal Mafia first by saying they doxed him. They put up a picture that might have been him, but then they said, this is his name. He's been arrested for domestic. YouTube, I don't think likes the full word. What do they want you to call it? DV. Well, I said, okay, I'm willing to look at it. Hey, wait a minute. You said Brutal Mafia was arrested? They later said he wasn't, but they did say Brutal Mafia was arrested for DV. I said, well, I'm willing to believe if it's true, but where's the mugshot of Brutal Mafia? Doesn't make sense because mugshots, where he lives anyway, are public. Any of the public can get the mug. Here's a likeness of Brutal Mafia. I know it's an upgrade, but he gets so downgraded. I think it's fair. Where's the mugshot? If you can't show the mugshot, your whole deal is a frame. It's not him. There's no mugshot. You know what they did? They put up an image, and it turned out to be a license. That probably when Brutal was trolling with this lady, he gave no mugshot, no arrest. The whole thing is a sham. So now people who don't like Brutal Mafia are trying to frame him. And yes, I've got mad at Brutal Mafia. I can't trust you with a wrench. I acted on it. But Brutal Mafia has done some good things too. Just like with other people, like Poon I've called out. Well, Poon has done some good things too, and bad things. But Brutal Mafia cleaned up and helped May Noodles. Brutal Mafia doxed righteously. And if you know me, you know I don't like doxing, like a lot of people. Some scumbags say, well, everybody doxes. Everybody does not dox, but you do, and that's why you say it. Brutal Mafia doxed, I think, a criminal. This guy that Brutal Mafia doxed on his channel enabled a forgery on a letter to the German authorities. And you probably heard this story, but I think it's important. Putting German lady's name denying the Holocaust. Guess what? She never did that. That RDA under Wazi Doggy forged it. And I said the authorities will probably contact German lady. Or I said at some point, German lady would have to have a conversation where she was being accused based on a lie from this group. There's a forgery encouraging authorities to arrest or propagate a lie. I said that poorly. Let me try to say it again. Is it a crime to forge a document that could result in imprisonment? Because in Germany, not America, it's against the law to deny the Holocaust. So what I'm saying is, I think that's criminal, what Rostock did. And here's why I bring this up. Because Brutal Mafia doxed and exposed that creep, who I believe committed criminal activity. So that's an exception, right? I don't want doxing, but there are exceptions when someone did a criminal act. I believe Rostock did, and Brutal Mafia doxed that creep. I think that helped. People, you need to be alert about all of us, but the truth. And I say the things people make fun of me, I say it. When I ask somebody, like Mr. Flex came up and he's lying. He's going after Lauren because of a mistake Lauren acknowledged, apologized for, and Lauren is paying the consequence. But Mr. Flex and others paint falsity, lies, slander against Lauren, against Lauren. She did something and she got a consequence and she owns it. It's a mistake. She called it a mistake and she pleaded responsibility, even though it's a little bit more complicated than that. That's it. So Mr. Flex came up, and thank you for coming up, and made like he was trying to help Lauren, but he wasn't, by bringing up parole. So as he's attacking Lauren, really, not truthfully, but he did, I said to Mr. Flex, and I say to all of you, 17 people watching, thank you, it's enough. I ask all of you, like I asked Mr. Flex, as you go after Lauren, maybe as you go after me, something I did that I said, the worst thing I ever did, over a decade ago, I told you the worst thing I ever did was I was going through a horrible separation. And my wife, who had physically hit me, by the way, I never hit back, but I don't want you to think that she was perfect. I spit in her direction. Worst thing I ever did. I apologized. She accepted it. I'm ashamed of it. And it's horrible. It bothers me as it should. But that's the worst thing. I did some other things. I put a guy in the hospital. But he was, we got in a fight, and he was more than able, and I won the fight. But that's the worst thing. Well, I said to Flex, and I say to all of you, if you're going to attack, fine. Hopefully with the truth, and you don't smear like Andy did me. What is the worst thing that you guys did? And I would think most of you did a lot worse than Lauren, who gets accused like me, and I've looked at everything, and the only thing I see is what she admitted to. At place of employment, that she ended up having a parole office. All this other stuff is crap. It's crap. It's crap. And I'll defend her. I'll defend her and will defend her. And when she's wrong, I call her out. When she laughed at a horrible joke that Dream made against Lycan, I called her out. When she calls someone a friend, like Riley, I call you out, Lauren, because you're friends with a guy who took down Channel. So, okay, at least call him out. And maybe Lauren did. She's really, there's a compliment in this maybe weakness. Lauren, in real life, is very nice. On here, Lauren can be too nice, right? Being tolerant of people. Maybe she shouldn't be, but that's it. So yeah, I defend Lauren. And one benefit of friendship is she comes on Shaw and gives great streaming. My opinion, she's #1 streamer right now. Beck might be, who else? You might have your own favorites. And she just proved it again by being a major co-host and reason why a recent Shaw stream was the best in a year, got the most views in a year. And without Lauren, without Tiff, and yes, without Scotty, the stream would not be a classic. I have it down for now to allow people to give energy to the recent stream, but I'll put it back up. Amazing stream. Most streams kind of die off after 2 days. By the 8th day, people were still watching, and for good reason. I'm very proud of that stream, and I'm very proud that I was fair. I was fair to Scotty. What does Scotty do? She goes on and denigrates me, even though she had said I was fair, even though she felt I was fair enough to come up not once, not twice, but 3 times on Shaw to go at Lauren. And I thought Scotty did better, but as the days went by, I said, Lauren won. I said originally it was, why did I think Lauren? And then it just hit me. It was no major insight. But I realized here's a likeness of Lauren, that Lauren wins. Lauren is popular because Lauren is nice. Lauren has likability. These people attack Lauren. Most haven't been around for years. Most don't have the number of friends. Just about all of them don't have a love or happily married or attractive. But Lauren is. So I defend Lauren. I don't follow her blindly. She's been wrong. She's the one who said, bring up Riley, when I asked her, who porn bombed and took down my channel. She's the one, because she's nice and believes in people, to tell me to let Dream come on. I let him on, and he porn bombed and took down the stream. So Lauren isn't perfect. Lauren's made bad judgments, but most of her judgments are groovy. How about the fact that she married Mike? How long have they been married? 10 years. And you can hear the love between them, because sometimes Mike's in the background, he'll come on. You know, you slime buckets don't like that, do you? People who are miserable don't like Lauren being happy, don't like me being happy. You get it? Jealousy is my whole life. When I first came on here, I said, my mama said, don't you take credit for being good looking. You don't have to believe it, because it had nothing to do with you. Your father and me made a beautiful son, you, but you didn't have anything to do with it. So I was privileged. And there's my father really liked the Kennedy family, and rich Catholic family, and he was prosperous and Catholic. But the Kennedys apparently were all told that they were privileged, but they had an obligation to do good. And that's what I raised for. And I've gone against my father. He was a drunk and abusive, but he could say some really, really smart things. He was a professor, you get it, smart guy. But he was abusive at home and drunk. But I like that those of us who are lucky, first of all, we're born in the best country in the world, but those of us who are lucky should contribute. Even here, Bush did say something I thought insightful about me. He said, I'm really invested in the struggle for good versus bad. Probably because of my childhood. Probably I was the oldest boy, and I stuck up for the siblings. I'm the one who, in my way, struggled against my father to defend my siblings. I was the one, and I probably felt good about it. It makes me feel good. It's transactional. I get to feel good, but it's a good thing to do, to feel good at doing good. So that's a theme here, and I do it by being brutally honest. brutally honest. Like this person who just goes at me now after I defended her. I gave my opinion. I said, Zoo, to me, if I was single, here's a likeness. You're not my type. I don't find you attractive, though I think if she had a haircut, I might. I think without that haircut, um, I might find her attractive, but I don't find you model type or really wanting to watch you do streams talking about makeup, putting yourself out there. I just saw I know I'm bearing up, a video. Some people might find this attractive. I acknowledge it. Right, Marique? That this lady had a stream focusing on her buttocks, right? I get the twerking, whatever. Well, for a middle-aged lady to do that, I didn't find that attractive or nice, or I thought it was kind of gross. Twerking can be fun. I'm not a prude against May Noodles did it. I thought very great. May Noodles did it politically, which sounds strange, but she did twerking to get at an abusive guy, AOC, who later put his hands on her. But fine, Zoo. People might like that, Zoo. I just don't find it. I find it kind of gross. My opinion, the way you push yourself out like you're something. First of all, I respect you being a mother, and you're not in your 20s, and you can do it, and people enjoy it. It's the pretense. Like it's worth putting yourself out there, obviously, just to cue people that you're attractive. Some people find you attractive, Sue, really, and I respect that, but I don't. And I don't think most people think you're as pretty as May Noodles. And then Andy smeared me because I don't think this is a likeness. I don't find her features symmetrical or well proportioned. And then Andy wanted to turn it into some racial religious thing. No, that feature I criticize is true in every culture. But Andy's the one who talks about a Jewish nose, which I find offensive. There's no Jewish nose. That's what the Nazis created, and anti-Semites. But I think Andy made a mistake. But you shouldn't speak that way, Andy. There's no Jewish nose. There's no Christian nose. There's no Hindu. You get the idea. That's racist by calling it some religious nose. It's not. Noses are a feature on a face. Every culture and most cultures, every culture has big noses. Some have more. And every culture got small noses. So it's racist to talk about there's no Jewish nose. Get it? So it's a smear. But saying that, if it's on Kardashian, her original nose, she didn't like, and the Kardashians had nose jobs, and they were probably right. I think most noses are fine. They don't have to be beautiful. But if it bothers a person, if it calls attention to itself and the person don't want it, then they might think about plastic surgery. I know there's this one news person, and their nose is just not attractive. And it's one of the biggest noses, and she's Armenian. Well, and I'm saying to myself, part of being on TV is appearance. So in your case, you might consider plastic surgery, because when I watch you, I should be thinking of your words, not a standout, unattractive, I think, feature. But it's her right. Do it if you want. Don't do it for other people. Do it for yourself. Or don't do it. And they smeared me. Andy smeared me. So anyway, I'll go through chat. I wanted to defend myself. And that's basically it. Good morning, Lauren, my friend. I think the #1 streamer. Lauren's getting attention from a critic who rated me #1 streamer last year. Very smart and critical. And now Lauren's been around, but because of me and Lauren comes on Shaw, Movie Maniac is taking notice, I think, of how good Lauren is. And if you want some objective truth, that stream of over 1,200 5.5 hours went far beyond the norm. So what was so popular about that stream? The same thing that was so popular about the other 2 streams that Lauren and Scotty went at. And someone said, yeah, you got the views because of Lauren and Scotty. Yeah, but they were on Shaw, and they did it on Shaw, and I'm proud, and I get good guests, and I'm groovy, not because of my numbers, but hopefully because people will know I will be fair. Even people accused me, and Whoosh and Kelsey, who said horrible things about me, came on Shaw and then commented how respectful I was. Yeah, if you're going to be respectful, and Whoosh was, maybe not first, I'm going to respect you back. And Kelsey even apologized, and I thank Kelsey for apologizing for horrible things she said. I'm not talking about always boring, always old. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about smears over the line. And Kelsey had enough class to apologize. And I said, well, Kelsey, I went hard at you too. And we had a good stream where people got along. And after that, I liked Kelsey more. I've never really disliked Whoosh. I think you condescend, Whoosh. I don't think intellectually you're top tier, but I don't like your lack of passion, Whoosh. And I do find you robotic. But I like listening to you, and I like having you up. But you made like I want you up. Not really. If you come up, yeah, come on up. But you made like you did me a favor, Whoosh. I'm coming. You did no favors. Whoosh brings no views. May would show up and the views would go up, right? Mr. T would come on Sean, the views would go up. Most people, they don't go up. Evil Abe originally would come on, the views would go up. Whoosh, you bring nobody. Andy, you bring your haters, which I don't need. So I don't need you. I really don't want you, Andy, to come up. We've had our one-on-one, right? And now you smear me. So I don't like you. You declared war. You make content on me. I'm not restreaming you. Who restreams Andy? Who talks about Andy Cruz? Me. And he likes it. He likes it like that. Well, I'm responding to you, but I'm one of the only ones who talks about Andy Cruz because nothing happens on Andy Cruz. He tried to do a Trump stream and it flopped. But when he goes at me, people like it. Even people who like me like it like that. So I'm the content. Stop with me. You won't. And a sad German restreamed. The sad German, anti-American, did his thing with music. That's what he wanted. Nobody watched. So now he restreams. He talks about me to get a few viewers. But by himself, rather than believe in the integrity of what he enjoyed, sad German, he gives that up. Even in corporate, he did something gaming and he had me in the background. Well, shut the fuck up, sad German. Earn your viewership. But he's not good. There's very few top tier, like in life, right? Most people are average. You get a few horrible. I think like Paypig. And I even complimented Andy. I think he can be likable, less so lately. Less so. But Lauren is top tier. Tiff is top tier. Grady is the best in chat. And I love Beck, top tier. And I love saying good things about people too. But you know, in this world, there's an overabundance of creepos, slime buckets. So, morning, Lauren. I made my defense with the truth. Let's see what chat. Drink some water. Telling myself. Morning. Nocto can be very good with me. Otherwise, I don't think he's top tier. But with me, he's got ability and he's got likability. Nocto's got likability, I think. But I'm so tired of hate mongering against me. So I'm calling out the hypocrite Andy Cruz, his gang of hate mongers defending myself. Also calling out Scotty, a friend of the hate monger, suddenly. I don't think she has real friends. I think Scotty's a real user and she wants money. And I think you're failing. I think people are finding you out, Scotty, and you go up and attack me. Suddenly you're a friend of Andy Cruz. Some friend. Andy thinks he got all his friends. He knows they're not real friends. But let Andy de-wrench some of the haters and watch their reaction. Scotty lies, but I don't have a right to call her out for scamming and hate. You have a right because you lie, Scotty. I do have that right. I don't have a right to dox. Nobody has a right to dox except if someone's a criminal, in my view. Maybe if somebody doxed my kids, I would dox back. But generally, people should not dox. And I don't. But you do, right, Scotty? You admit to doxing. Give me a break. Scotty, you stink as a streamer. You're going downhill. People are finding out about you, and you're not as entertaining as, say, Nikki, who I don't like. But Nikki is keeping her viewership and maybe growing because people find her entertaining. Scotty, you're wearing on people. And numbers do suggest something. Darling Nikki calling you out does very well. 40, 50 live views, maybe more. Scotty, your views are going down. And most of all, I suspect your donations, which is why you're here, right? Now, I don't work. I don't have to. I don't ask for donations. I don't need to. Scotty doesn't work, right? So you need the donations, but get it honestly. You're not an honest person, Scotty. Brutal Mafia. Sam, Andy's done with you for the 78th time. He's also not coming back for the 104th. Yeah, not much happens on Andy Cruz. That's why he might be jealous. Things happen on Shaw, and he can boast. He gets more views, but these are views that aren't very significant. I mean, I want 20, 15. I like the 1,200, but I don't pretend they're significant. To me personally, Andy does, and most of all, Andy Cruz. I don't want to be you. I don't want to be you, and I don't want your stream. Nobody talks about you except here I am, right? Here I am, and that's it. I don't think you're a great streamer. You can't monologue. You're not that smart. You can be funny, used to be charming, but now you're hateful. And your stream was just a hate stream. You can call this a defend stream because I'm defending myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't be streaming. I stream way too much content, meaning people don't have time who want to watch it. I know that. That's my problem. Sue me. I remember I like to sing. I don't pretend I'm great, but I think I can entertain. Just like I did a musical number where the story words were more important. But I enjoy singing, and people attack my singing. I mean, people attack my singing. Why don't you sing then? It's cheap. I'm not I'm not Frank Sinatra, but I'm not bad on some songs either. And I think I'm proud of a couple like this musical number. One of my lower viewed songs was a religious song, right? I was blind, but now I see. But that meant something to me. And every song, most songs, I try to present a story. Not every song. Sometimes it'll just be a likeness of me. But most songs, I'll actually think about and put up images to make a story. Like on the Jesus one, I was presented scenes of Jesus saving people, performing miracles. And that was a story that I came to faith, even though I'm not religiously doctrinaire. I'm not, people understand I'm not as religious as some people, but I'm a believer, right? So Sue makes fun of my singing. What a class act, huh? Class act. How about when she advised that my wife should leave me? How about you're not a good streamer. And again, just because I don't like you, I don't like Ross Dog, but he could be entertaining. Cosmic, pretty good entertaining streamer. Andy Cruz can be entertaining. I don't like his hate stuff, but he can be a star. I think he's turned. He's turned and maybe revealed himself. There's nothing funny or charming about fingering a 15-year-old girl. Might be criminal. I don't know. I'm not going to go to the police. It happened a long time ago. Okay. Well, why do you go after me for things that happened a long time ago? And I don't whine about it. In fact, those things, you only know about it because I share the bad about me with the good. And I do a lot of good. And people don't answer, what's the worst thing you ever did? So Flex wouldn't answer that, would he? But I could have ended up in jail. I broke in my brother's apartment. A couple of times when I was very young, I was drinking and driving. I went looking for this, when I was separated, looking for this guy I thought was a friend of mine. And then he went after my wife, meaning romantically, and I freaked out and I was going to go hurt him. And if I'd found him, I would have beat him up. He was much older and I would have gone to jail, and rightfully so. When I had a compulsion, I stole coffee a few times. If I'd been caught, I should have been held to account, probably fined, maybe given probation. I don't know. So I don't want to come across as you're terrible because you made a couple of mistakes and I'm perfect. A lot of us could have ended up in jail there, but for the grace of God, right? But I was never malicious. Well, you could say I was malicious when I went to beat up that guy. But in my mind, that guy deserved it, not legally, because he made like he was my friend, and then I got separated, and then he swooped in. But he didn't legally deserve it. But did I intend to harm? Yes. Was it malicious? I guess. But it's not the same. I don't ever wish people ill health. Not Ross Dog. No one. Not Andy. Not Andy. Never, ever in 8 years wish anyone unalive, even though Chicken Jan did wish and want me to be unalive. Even May Noodles wished my unalive. And I called her on it. She doubled down. But she did. People say those things, but some of those things I never do. Sam, Andy's done with you. I think I read that. Boycott. That's cheap. Nobody boycott anybody. You all make your own decisions. Boycott. The one who said that is a terrible, terrible streamer. People only watch because she gives people money and she pretends that her hateful tirades are talent. There's no talent there. Brutal respect Chicano men. I respect Chicano culture. Even the machismo, though it goes too far. You got to treat women with respect. But I generally respect Mexican Americans and Chicano culture. And I live in California. My neighbors are Chicano. I respect them. I like a lot of the culture, the art, the food, the men when they respect women. You get it? But Chicano men who were on this channel, Yarda, did not respect Andy Cruz. That's coming from Chicano men, and they're the ones who called him a chomo, not me. I will say, what is it when you have, as Andy said, I'm not responsible for what he said, dummy. Andy said he fingered a 15-year-old. He said it. Whine, whine, whine. Calling people who are trying. A brutal mafia, I believe, is being framed. That if you follow brutal mafia, and Lauren could speak on this, he's never gone after kids or brought up kids and abortion, those two issues. So the people who hate brutal mafia, I believe, they framed him with phony allegations of he was arrested. That was a frame. There was no mugshot. And I think they're trying to frame him now, and he can be a troll. But go after him for being a troll. I think bad people are trying to frame brutal mafia for mentioning a kid, which he didn't do. And people have, including PayPig, put up a document that appeared to be official that had May Noodle's name in it that wasn't her. So there are people who use AI to frame. Be careful. The receipts are not as valid as they used to be with AI. You can create practically anything in text using AI. So be careful, and I need more proof. And I do believe, again, I call out brutal mafia. I don't like the way he's been with Betty Spaghetti either. Betty Spaghetti is a very respectful, opinionated, good lady. Wonderful marriage, loves her kids, and I don't think Brutal Mafia has been fair with her, or Brutal Mafia has not been fair with Shelley. I don't like Brutal Mafia putting links where they could see a picture of Marie's anatomy. And I call you out, Brutal Mafia, but there's good things about Brutal Mafia too. Good things about, and I mentioned a couple, right? That he exposes the truth oftentimes. I don't think it goes too far. So I'm mixed, but I will not applaud or support Brutal Mafia being framed, which he has been. And I call you out, you framers. A wimp can't go, you're a wimp as a streamer if you can't go one-on-one. And if you can't monologue, I don't think you're a great streamer. I think monologuing, like I'm doing now, is an important part of being a streamer. And I like monologuing. I like guests. And I'm exceptionally good at monologuing. I did go 28 hours, the dummy I was, because YouTube won't put up a stream later if you go over 12. In fact, I monologue too much. I got to shut the fuck up and leave, like now, right? But if you're a viewer, You can watch me or not watch me, and that's like being too nice. I'm the one who suffers because I got a real life and things to do, and my wife doesn't want me to go that long. But I enjoy what I do. It's a hobby. I enjoy it, and it gets to be a hobby because I don't show my face for obvious reasons. I'm not going to trust people to find out my name because they will, with Jim Renam, they put up his kids. The critics of Jim Renam put up his kids. Don't like Jim Renam, but don't put up his kids. They put up his first wife, and they lie. So no. A friend of mine told me she had been on camera and she regrets it. She regrets it. I prefer people not even really looking. I want to focus on what they're saying. Now, if they're beautiful, I got to admit, that's different. And I'm good looking, but it's a stupid thing to reveal my name or put up an image. And it's true. They have software that reverse images. And it used to be used rarely, say in airports. But now it's very available. And if I put my image on, a good person with internet computer could provide my name. Why would I do that? They want me to, right? They. Who's they? I do believe in the world. As Bush got it. Good versus bad. Whether it be 2,000 years ago, Civil War, right now in this small internet YouTube world. Good versus bad. Lauren is good. Jimmer is bad. Tiff is good. Andy Cruz has gone to the dark side. Brutal Mafia is in the middle, I think. A lot of people are in the middle. You get it? Some people are courageous, like Lauren, and some people are evil, like some of the things Jeno has done. And they tried to slander me, this MYK and others. Jeno was never a friend of mine. Jeno said terrible things about me. Jeno made all kinds of videos against me, and now they want to give the lie my bud. I don't like Jeno. I call him out more than most people. But what I did do is say, if somebody says they turn to Christ, I say, don't necessarily believe them, but give them a chance. So that's what I said about Jeno. And then he came on Shaw, and then he flipped out and showed very unchristian-like behavior, meaning that he was a fraud. And now Jeno, it was posted, if it's true, Not Late Jeno has been scheduled to be in court. And more people should be interested, but I think he's done. Just like I think Scotty's done. So 2 years ago, if we found out about Jeno, there'd be a lot of interest. But most streamers go away. Go away. I'm amazed I'm still here. And I want to kind of go away to do stuff. But I get to defend myself. People talk about me because I'm a force. And right now, I need to go away. I defended myself. So I'll finish with my favorite reading chat. All right? A lot of people left anyway. I mean, an hour and 40 minutes. Some people are saying enough. Hopefully nobody's restreaming, which is cheap. Mark my words. Excuse me. Andy will be back. His backbone is made from paper mache. That's very true. Maybe, I'm speculating, the Chicano men don't want another member of their ethnic group to come off as a wimp and a slanderer and talking about fingering a 15-year-old. I asked about that. I don't know. But why is YB Clips, who isn't a nice guy, and I call you out, going after Andy? And why did people on Yarda, fellow Chicanos call out Andy Cruz. I make a joke. I've loved Latino women, but I am not Latino. I know a little of their culture, but this stuff is kind of subtle. I don't understand. Why are this group of men on Yarda or YB Clips, all Chicanos, so going after Andy Cruz? Don't know. Brutal Mafia. They still are on there. We need Sam's approval, but we will try and act like we dislike him to appease the 7 people in Andy's chat. Well, I've gone hard. I've gone hard at people. Some people with better self-esteem, like Poon. I mentioned Poon because I'm not going hours. I'd like to talk to you, Poon, but I'm going too long. But thank you for being here. When you're mad at somebody and something bad happens to them, you find out maybe your true feeling. And the bad stuff is not as important as what's going on now. Poon Handler once told me he was having a heart attack, and he wasn't, and he laughed. So I've been distrustful and mad at Poon. But something happened that kind of clears the vision of truth. Poon, unfortunately, went to the hospital. And my feeling was, wow, I hope he's well. I kind of care about the guy. It clarified. I'm mad. He has lied about me, made up stuff like he kicked dogs. But when it came to a moment of truth, of substance, of weight, I like the guy. Maybe even I think of him as a friend. And I'm not ashamed of it. Poon's not very popular. A lot of people won't like a comment I left. But I wanted you to know that you have great goodness in you too, and great possibility. And some of the bad stuff gets in the way. So, yeah, whatever Poon says about me, I consider you a friend. And I didn't even know that, except when I heard you going to the hospital. I felt bad. And I wish you all well, the best. And people care about you, including me. High mood poisoning. Dude, if I give you a link, it'll go too long. I'll go, you do a stream, I'll go up. But most of all, dummy, take care of your foot. What happened? Whatever happened, and I really don't know literally, you gotta like take care of yourself. Fuck. Yeah, I don't want him. He's been hurt a lot, and I haven't said this, but Poon's got compassion. He's done things behind the scenes. And I think he plays a character. I have said always that he's very different. I haven't talked to him in a long time, maybe a year, but when we DM'd, he's a different guy. He's a really good guy, a little bit like Nocto. So the character I sometimes don't like, but the real man that I know, I like, and he's a good guy. Poon wants the link to talk about this specific drama and not about his foot. Well, I've been on here too long as usual. So you want to stream, do it, man. I'll even come up. But sometimes I wake up at 3 o'clock, and I woke up to this hate stream by Andy. Hi, Tip. Tip is, I don't know her past, but she's wonderful on air. She's so smart. And I like Tip. And you should sub to her channel. Brutal Mafia. YB is a little chump. No one fears the guy. Well, Andy does, but that doesn't say a lot. I don't know. I don't know much about him. I think he's a chump because he doxes. But from a villain, you can still hear truth. Poon, how are you doing? See, here's the important part right here. Forget me, because we're talking physical health with Poon. Hi, Lauren, Tiffany. I want to go through this and see if Poon replies. Lauren, people saying hello. I do need to go off. If Poon has a link, I'll go on and on. He has his own channel, and I hope he's okay. Andy said the last time he's done with Sam, Lauren, he's and them are watching right now. Well, maybe in the beginning, but the truth is, Andy's not significant. He's not a force. Nobody talks about him. Not much happens on his stream. I gave him his best content when I went one-on-one a couple times. He can handle me. And then he brings up people because you can't handle the truth, Andy Cruz. You're not significant. You dig? And once you turn on or disagree with your haters, they're gone. You're just not that likable right now. You're not that likable because you've turned to slander. He has his stream. I've been on long, and I know if I bring him on, it could go for hours. Scotty went on his panel, Andy's panel, and said that Sam was talking about her and Andy the most. That's not true. The last stream, I talked about Andy a couple times, few, maybe in total length, 15 minutes. The stream wasn't about Andy. Andy and people play me for content. Andy has restreamed me. That's the lowest. That's a steal. That's sad German territory because not much happens on Andy Cruz. I don't consider I have clout, but I'm interesting. I think he just needs me to talk about, not necessarily for clout. He gets more clout attacking me. And all Brutal wants to do is talk about the war and gas prices. I'd like talking about that too, actually. I got to finish this, so I got to skip some. Allie's conveniently mad at Sam and not the people calling Andy a P word. Yeah, I think she wants to be part of this world. She told May Noodles, her and May Noodles would take over the internet. But the truth is, you're just not good as a streamer. As a personality, you're kind of boring and you're shrill and you buy people and you're corrupt and you lie and you slander. But most of all, Allie, I don't find you entertaining. And I don't think you can help that. I don't want to go political. I could talk about Palestine and go on for hours. I'm looking for an exit. Like they say, Trump is looking for a way to end this war. I'm looking for a way to go, phone my wife and phone my kids and have breakfast and go to the neighbors and maybe get high. If I was still chill with Andy, we would be going at them yarded chumps full force. Instead, he tucked his tail and hid behind women. Yeah. I was thinking at first that was Lauren, because Scotty went on and made like she's friends with Andy. Some friend Andy is to Lauren. Poon's on his meds and not making any sense. But I think that people want to know. did Poon get his foot amputated? Smash the like. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Sub, even if you hate me, because I give great content. Bottom line, why am I still? Because I'm entertaining. But you don't think I knew that? I'm more entertaining in real life, believe me. And I got brutal to troll and dox your family. All lies, all slander, and I do relate to Lauren as not doing anything real life or bad, and still being around and still popular and still trying to be fair, and people getting mad at her. And she's one of my few friends here. And it took a long time, just like with May. Over time, you find out who your friends are. And then you think they're your friends, and then they stab you in the back. But I refuse to get totally cynical. I refuse. This is not my life. It's a hobby. And I'll be the fool, right? Puna said terrible things about me, by the way. Let's see if he does it again. The Fingering of Sam Hill sounds like an interesting movie, much like Freddy Got Fingered. Well, if you went through it, you wouldn't be saying that, dummy. She says things like that. But I really go back to, I felt like I knew the real Poon offline. We haven't talked been a year, 2 years, but we were DMing, and he's a different guy, is what I really think. And he becomes that character and says indefensible things, and I call him on it. I care that he lies about me. Like he had a whole stream, I kick dogs. I don't kick dogs. One of the reasons why I kept the stream up, and I could have taken it down. You know, if it bothered Andy, if it really bothers Andy, I'll take it down. But there were a couple of things I'm proud of. And I was so genuine because I talked about Itzy the dog who passed away, and Molly just passed away. And the truth about Itzy, the dream showed us, got to me, affected me. And one way I know that is when I'm watching and my emotions, like I'm going to cry, comes up, and I have to keep it down. And that, I could keep talking about Itzy, and probably I'd cry and people make fun of me, but Itzy, the dog, got to me. And I wanted to give a little tribute that Itzy affected people. Itzy, the animal never knew. I mean, the dogs don't know us, but we're affected. We're affected. Jesus Christ lived over 2,000 years ago, and yet we hear him, we remember him. Some of us think we've talked to him. So my point is, we're affected. We're affected at a movie where it's fiction because we're human beings, and these are stories. Even on TV and here and movies, it's all about the human condition. Human condition. Good versus evil. Putin versus Zelensky, right? In my family, we really liked hearing about John Kennedy. We really liked John Kennedy. I like hearing about Abraham Lincoln. Here, I get to talk to some of you. Lauren's a really, really good person. And because I go after bad people, I like talking about good people. Lauren has never disappointed me. Many people have. I've known her, how long? 5 years. And we started out kind of opposed to each other because she liked Lycan, and Lycan was competitive with me. And most of all, for a very short time, Lauren liked RDA. And I hate strong word, but I'll say it, RDA, and they hate me. And in going on Lauren's stream, she found out the truth about me. And I wish people would. So attack me with the truth, with with my stories. But people twist my stories. And that's what bothers me. And I get to defend myself. And then you believe. I told a story, a true story of I was 5 years old. And I was sitting watching TV with my sister, 2 years older. And the story is she saw as a child characters on the TV kissing. So she tried to kiss me. And we did that for a minute or two, and that was it. From that, scumbags have me having incest with my sister. The latest lie, and boy, Ellie lies. She had me saying I saw my sister come out naked and I had a erection or some shit made up. No, I think I mentioned I was talking about and I'm fascinated by women. The first time I saw a naked vagina, I don't even remember. Was it maybe my sister was coming out of the shower? I don't remember. And from that, what I just said, all of a sudden, I saw my sister naked come out of the shower and I had sexual thoughts. Did not happen. Did not happen. I don't have those thoughts with anyone in my family, certainly not with my sister. And it's lies. And that's why Allie is a creep, because you lie and slander. You slander and come up here and tell me the story, and I tell the truth. When you lie, one has trouble remembering the made-up stories. That's how you kind of know a liar. No, I'm correcting people all the time. All I have to do is remember the story. Now see what Scotty has went. I think Scotty's finished, really. Started more shit where they were. Yeah, she's going to try. She's going to try. Let's see what happens. And I will remove this comment by Poon. Poon has some prejudice against a religious group or two. I won't tolerate it. And those people you talked about are nice people too, by the way. Sam, I heard them say last night you aren't having fun anymore. That's partly true because of the people around you. I think we're fun people. Well, fun is laughing. Even if Poon came up, we could go funny. That's fun. I can be funny. But with so much slander, with Andy accusing me of being a bigot, how can I make fun of that? Right? Religion, I can kind of use religion. I thought it was funny to me, the bragging rights of Jesus at school, right? I forgot when he found out he was the Son of God, but Jesus at school, it's just the bragging rights. Remember how we bragged about our parents and at school, my father got all these goats. Right? One kid brags, another kid. My father owns the local bazaar store. Ooh, Jesus says, yeah, but my father created the earth and all life, bragging rights. Jesus had it. Not that he used it because he was perfect, but it just stuff like that. Right? Even Noah, all those animals, think of the smell. and Noah, all those animals, who got the low job of cleaning the muck? You know what I mean? So I have these kind of thoughts. I have so much time, and I think I can be insightful politically too. Trump is an interesting figure, right? I don't know if you can be funny about Trump. There's a war going on. Make fun of his hair. He like he had a choice. Keep it orange, stop dyeing his hair, and go gray. Poor Trump. But you learn just by watching. This isn't going to be funny. Like Trump, I'll be crude here. Trump get no Melania pussy. They get no pussy. Real life married people usually get pussy. Should get pussy if you're married. Trump, watch Trump and Melania. Like Melania swatted away Trump's hands. And you just know Melania says, Trump, you stuck your pecker in that Daniels porn star, ick. And Trump has played around on a couple of his wives. And I think it's just obvious to me, watch them together and she want no part of him, Melania, the wife of Trump. And it turns out, because people check these things, that when Trump won the election the first time, you would think they go back to where they stayed. I don't think they were in the White House yet, and be with each other. And or maybe this was the second time. But it turned out that when he won the first election or the last election, that they went their separate ways, no lays that night, that Melania didn't even live in the White House for 6 or 7 months. So I would speculate she hated his guts, but she probably likes the role. Think about her biography. She came from Slovakia, which used to be part of communist Czechoslovakia, as a low-tier model. She wasn't a supermodel, right? She hooks up with Trump. Her life changes, but I think there's an interesting bargain that a lot of us make bargains. Her bargain was to be rich, taken care of, famous, buying the best clothes, but maybe give up love. Give up love, which I believe she doesn't have for Trump. Watch him. She made the choice. And now she's wanting her own brand. I think she's thinking about life after Trump, whether they divorce or he is 79, and she's trying to have her own brand. But people have been talking about her past, right? She don't like that. A comedian on TV, Jimmy Kimmel, joked about, before the assassination attempt, by the way, he made a joke about her being an expectant widow. Well, I think she's probably speculated on life after Trump. But here's the point. A comedian in our free society should have the right to criticize. We all should have the right to criticize. You shouldn't lose a movie or TV show over criticism, unless it's illegal. If he said everybody should commit violence, that he didn't say that. Jimmy Kimmel didn't say that. And what was the response? Of people who the president is supposed to hold the Constitution. Free speech. Melania said Kimmel should be fired, and Trump might have agreed. That's not the America we want. Not the America we want. President is supposed to be for the people, not for himself. And I think that's the reality. That most people, at least I do, and a lot of polling shows that we know Trump is out for himself. Even though he might want to do good for our country, but he's about himself. And it even carries over into family life. His son, Don Jr., told this reporter that he regretted giving Don his name. What a cruel thing to, but look at his kids. His kids are lackeys. Don and the other Eric, their lives revolve around Trump. You dig? Everything revolves around Trump. So nation first, not ego. And I supported Trump in the beginning. Look at who he ran against, Harris. And I said, or someone said, I didn't say, people rolled the dice with Trump, as I did. Well, it turned out crap. Concerning the war, support Trump, meaning support the troops, because Trump is commander in chief. And just because you don't like Trump, don't wish for ill will of America. I'm an American. I think people in the West, good people, should support USA trying to bring down an evil, evil mullah regime. Just because you don't like Trump, don't wish failure. And after the war, that's the time for criticism. But even now, criticizing Trump or American time of war is still constitutionally protected. Constitution has been suspended. Abraham Lincoln suspended freedom of the press. And go back and you'll see he actually put journalists in jail. Well, in times of emergency, World War II, Roosevelt and his administration put citizens, Japanese Americans, in internment camps. But that's a suspension of the Constitution. And we should not wish that now. So I can talk on politics, even though there's a few people who want to discuss it. Andy Cruz tried to talk on Trump. But why would you listen to him? Is he smarter than a lot of us? Does he watch the news and listen to people on politics? Basically just says he don't like Trump. Why? And what is your expertise talking about it? Do you follow? I follow many news sources, including Al Jazeera, who I don't like. Why would I like Al? To get their point of view. And I mentioned this before. I was watching that and noticing the misuse of use of language. So I'm watching Al Jazeera, and a reporter came in from Israel, and the announcement was, now we're going to hear our reporter from occupied Jerusalem. Oh, or free. No, it's you're putting a twist. Jerusalem is one city, so we have to be careful, like here too. And actually, if you're a streamer, like in college, like in talking to smart people, your language skills, cognitive skills, can be improved. Because if you're a streamer, you have to watch every word. You say the wrong word, it's going to get twisted. So I think if you're a streamer, it does help your cognition or language development, because you have to be better with language or bad things can happen. And even when you're good with language, bad things like the smear that I made out with my sister will be twisted, or I bought my wife will be twisted. And I come back to a point I made an hour ago, that when I get a chance to tell about my wife, my marriage, sometimes I take it. So I cared about the stream last night. First, I had Lauren up, who's worth keeping up by herself. But the better reason was I talked about Itzy, a special dog that I cared about, that I got affected. Even Itzy had no inkling. I was watching American Dream stream. But like you do, right? You connect with certain things. You can read a book about a story 2,000 years ago and feel like crying when it reminds you of the crucifixion. We get affected. And a lot of times, in a good way. And it brought out caring and reminders to me of how great our pets can be. And I've had dogs and passed away, of course. So it affected me. I'll always remember Itzy and Dream. Thank Dream for sharing the journey, the life journey of a wonderful dog and the passing of a wonderful spirit. Our pets, right, can have wonderful spirits. Birds I have a little problem with, but people love their birds. Dogs, some people love their cats. Very human. Not talking about some bullshit slander, but real, that people can relate. Some of you watching now probably have pets. So it gave me, it brought out a good emotion I'm proud of. Caring, right? Caring for an animal, caring for a relationship between Dream and this special life force dog named Itzy. And I talked about it, and that meant something to me. And I shared a letter that I just found. And Pig and others talked about the letter and lied about it. Said, this is a letter sent out to thousands as part of a scam. No, we were already married. And she wrote this letter. And rather than be human, decent, and kind of comment, wow, that's a real love letter between a wife and her husband, and they're separated. They lied. And that's why the liars will never be great streamers. And you need a personality too, Pig. But truth. I think, like, I get Flex, Mr. Flex came up and was bullshitting. And it frustrates me, and I don't want it, because he said he was helping Lauren by bringing up probation. Bullshit. You want to go at Lauren. And I get frustrated. I don't want that. I know that there's a lot of bullshit. I don't want it. I feel like my goal is to expose the truth. Also about myself, and I tell stories where I'm a fool. People want me to be ashamed. Oh, I don't have prostitutes. I had one experience, well, two, but one experience in Amsterdam where prostitution is legal, and I wanted to try it, and I did. And I was a fool in real life, in the story, because I was so vain, I didn't think she was going to charge me, right? And after the act, she was very quick to want to be paid. And I thought this lady, I'm so good looking. She kept telling me I look like a movie star. Well, maybe, but the main intent was to get me to have the experience and pay up. Well, I'm a fool in that. I'm not a great fool, but to think that she didn't expect to be paid. So from that, I'm go with all these prostitutes. Not true at all. I paid that one time, and then I saw this show on HBO. Remember, like the Cat House, or those that go inside legal whorehouses? So I was in Vegas, and I drove out to Pahrump because I remember the show from HBO. And I went to this place. It was a bordello whorehouse for the experience. And I talked about it, but basically the lady asked me how much money I had and was willing to pay. I said $100. And again, I thought, because I was so attractive, blah, blah, blah. She took my hand and she walked to another room, I thought, where we were going to do the deed. I was expecting her to walk me to the room and we would have legal, because it was a legal place in Nevada, sex. Instead, she walked me to the exit door because I didn't offer enough money. So what a fool I was, right? That's it. My whole life, I was in Tijuana around prostitutes, but I never went with one. That's it. But all of a sudden, first of all, Pig denigrates a heartfelt, I just read it word for word. And she said, well, some of the words seem funny. Yeah, because English is my wife's second language. And when she was in the Philippines, she didn't have need to talk much English. But it was word for word. And then I'd stop and explain, oh, this is when she first met me, and in the airport and blah, blah, blah. But rather than be a decent human being and forget about me, just respect the power of love, or at least my wife. She didn't do it. The hate twists truth. I will give Charlotte credit, who does obsess on me, that even she did not buy, I think, when PayPig made a stream making fun of my sexual assault, right? And I don't like to talk about that, but people keep bringing it up, the essay. So they wanted me to be ashamed, I think, to make fun of it, be embarrassed. I never have been. It was done to me, you dig? And it was complex. I wanted to avoid being arrested most of all, because if I got arrested, they'd send me back to where I ran away from, where I had struck, not killed, not injured my father with a bat. The last thing I wanted was to go back home. But human condition came in there too, because when I had money stolen, what did I do? I phoned home. That's just very human, and I'm human, and I'm different, but on the basic issues of love and family, and I'm the same as you. When I was a kid, I wanted loving parents. I didn't want a drunk, out of control father sometimes. I want now what all of you want. Not all of you, because I want truth. There are bad people. I don't know if they were born that way or environment. You can talk spiritually, right? Or you don't need to bring in the Bible. Don't we have a sense that there's just bad people? And one definition to me is if you enjoy suffering. So I like Nocto, but a bad part of him was when he would go with Greiker, making fun of this bad person. And I agree that this Smith person was bad, but they'd laugh as they tried to humiliate this person. That's the tell. AOC, the same thing. So when AOC makes somebody suffer, he laughs. So to me, that's bad. If you want suffering rather than uplifting, right? And we know when you agree, and a bad person can still state the truth, but YB Clips is still a bad person for doxing Andy, although he could speak the truth when he directs Andy to Yarda or whoever that came about, right? So it's just truth. I haven't changed. It's this basic search, a search for the truth. And I'll try to be entertaining, and I'll be absurd, but I'll tell my stories. Not as much anymore, because people attack my stories. I could have been in jail. Most of us, a lot of us, could have been in jail for much, much, much worse than a couple of mistakes by Lauren. So because you go at Lauren, you create stuff she didn't do. People create stuff I didn't do so they can say evil things about me. Okay, go at me with the truth. Don't call a love letter something manufactured with some kind of scam. It's like people are so held in by their hate, they can't live the truth. Don't we know that? So even hate, but with the truth, you can hate Israeli settlement policy, but don't hate Jewish people. Truth comes out. I think, let's just say Tony has said some very anti-Israeli things against the policy. I'm not calling him out for not liking Jews. We've never had that discussion. So Tony's got a right to attack Israeli policy. But some of these people obviously hate Jews. And when they start talking about Jews control the world, they're gone. It's a lie. And the Jewish people have been scapegoated and have connections. And my kids, my first wife, my experience, what I see, historical scapegoating, and also Jesus was Jewish. In the Bible, if you curse the Jewish people, you are cursed by God. People don't want to talk about that. So for many reasons, I'm offended when Andy Cruz smeared me and then said he forgot he did that, but did admit he didn't believe that I am anti-Semitic. I'm the reverse. I'm pro-Jewish, the good ones. Because obviously in any group, you're going to get bad people too. But as a group, they've been wonderful and contributed, and smeared is going to get heavy. Where does hate lead? Even here, hate leads to people going real life. Hate leads to made noodles in the middle of the night. Some guy showed up and pounded on the door. Hate led to this lady who had a stream on YouTube. And YouTube took away a lot of her views, right? A lot of her views. Real life. It was on the news. What did she do? She went to Yahoo, I think it was Yahoo, and started shooting people. So hate leads to bad things. That's an extreme example. But one guy talked about tracking me down. Russell Cook, who I talked to come on air, lost his temper at me. The first time, I kind of joked about it. Somebody clipped it. The second time Russell went at me, he wanted to break my arm, which I thought was an absurd kind of way of improvement, because Russell wanted to literally, he said literally, if I was in front of him, he wanted to unalive me. The second time, it bothered me a little bit, but I made a joke. Well, Russell, it's an improvement, because Russell didn't want to unalive me, just break my arm. But then the third time, he said he went back to unalive me. I had enough. I called him out. So people, when Russell came up somewhere, I think it was probably at Andy's, Russell came up and they tried to cue Russell to attack me, right? And Russell seemed reasonable. Russell, he's got a temper, and he was reasonable. He wasn't hateful. So what did they do? What did Andy Cruz do? He brought up a clip of Russell losing his temper, calling me the F word, saying he wanted really bad stuff. Russell left. I don't think Russell wanted that. I think Russell has a temper, like I had a temper, and he goes extreme, right? I think it's been 3 times, and Russell left, I hope because he knows the haters were using Russell, and most of the time, we get along. Sometimes we fight. Most of the time, there's a part of us. I'll speak for myself. There's a part of me that really likes Russell Cook. But I don't like it when he's calling me the P word and F word and wanting to kill me. But he's got a temper, and it goes too far. And I don't like it anymore. And stop. And you were being used, Russell Cook. You were being used. And I'd like to believe that when you got it, they were catching you at your worst, to use you against me. You left. I'd like to think that's the reason. So they don't say the truth. Most of the time we get along. I had great times with Russell on a show I created. We can have I think the last conversation was pretty good. Sometimes he's passive aggressive and he wants to talk about guitar strings. But he's one guy I will meet, I think, when I go cross country. I do want to meet him. Most of my feeling is good. And then I get angry when Russell gets passive aggressive. But deep down, like with Poon Handler, I like you, Russell. And I hope you know that. But yeah, I can provoke. The original with Russell was super cool, super cool, super cool. I wanna know who you are, dude. Everyone's not super cool. 100. So I provoked him, and I saw the result was a huge temper where he said, I've talked about this. I find it funny because most people will say like may unalive, but he wanted me to understand that he just didn't want to unalive me on air through glass. But if I was in front of him, he really wanted to unalive me. You get it? Because he's got an incredible temper. All right. When he doesn't have a temper, he's a groovy guy most of the time. But he was used, and I'd like to think that he got it. And it was a terrible thing they did. He wanted to come up, talk about me, the truth, and nuance and detailed. Instead, they brought up where he was at his worst. I don't think Russell was proud of that moment. I mean, it wasn't just unalive me. It was calling me all kinds of names, the worst. He's got a temper. That's all. I need to go. Let's do without the kid talk. Brutal Mafia does not do kid talk, and they're framing him. So because you don't like me, can you state the truth? And it's horrible. And I think people don't like Brutal. Go at Brutal because they know he can be very unpopular with a lot of people. He's an easy target. So like when this scumbag, Jan, who did say she wanted me unalive, she went after Not Lay Geno, an easy target because most people don't like him, including me. But it didn't give her the right to falsely accuse him of being a P word. Jan said to Poon that Geno sent, they were going together. Geno sent Jan a picture inappropriate that might have been P word. So she was accusing Geno of being a P word. Now, I don't know. I think he's a flasher. I don't think I've seen proof that he's sexually attracted to kids. But Jan said there's proof. And she had been with him. Poon went along with it. Well, there comes troublesome me. And I started to question Jan. And she admitted she made it up. So the point is, people go after what they think are easy targets. But as a righteous person, you should go with truth. Even Riley, Riley came up and he still said mean things afterwards. But I don't want to have hate. Why do you want hate and be like those people who go at me? You know, they obsess and hate. They have a little hate group and they're bad. And it doesn't feel good, but I can't be phony. I was mad at Raleigh for 3 years. Nocto didn't know the history. I said, this guy took down my channel. Oh, Nocto, he's always a nice guy. I said, ask him. And he asked Riley, and Riley admits it. He doesn't steer from the truth. It took me 3 years because I was trying to explain to Flex. He didn't get it. The first time you do something like streaming and things went well, you have an optimism, like the sky's the limit, right? And when I did the first stream, I got a terrific, at the time, co-host, luck, whatever, that I did 250 streams with my co-host, Little Readers. We were on a roll. I hadn't had my channel. This was my first channel. And we were just growing and getting great guests. And Wendy came and 100 live views. And I said, wow, let's see how far we get. Maybe we'll be big because I'm talented, you're talented. And what happened? Riley came up and porn bombed, and I was inexperienced and didn't take it down in time. And it took down 100 streams. My first channel and it killed my optimism. Why am I doing this if I give everything and then it's taken away unfairly? I still don't give up. I used to actually spend time and plan on Hostbusters, and we did skits and Romeo and Juliet, an interview with sex workers. And the last thing I did for RDA, I was doing Carlin's dirty words you can't say on TV, and I was giggling, and Righteous J made me giggle, and then it ended. And I was thinking, wow, I can't wait for next week to laugh. And then Wazzy Doggy went away. And I wasn't going to wait for him. And I went off and designed and did Busters, which Rostock and company did not like. And I didn't like their response. And we went to not war. There's no real war here, Andy. Hate or conflict for years. But I don't think I ever got to the point of hate. And I didn't with Raleigh, but I didn't forgive him. 3 years went by, and then we talked. And then he went back to calling me the P word, but I let him up. I don't know why. I don't know. We had a nice conversation, really. Raleigh brought up, I'm talking about exposing the truth. Raleigh brought up that he was schizophrenic. He said it twice, right? He brought it up. So I was interested. Are you really schizophrenic? I'm asking, and I wanted to find out. He brought it up. So I said, using my background, because I understand a little bit about schizophrenia, what age were you, and who diagnosed it? Because in most cases, schizophrenia is primarily male, not exclusively, but dominant male. And most young men develop schizophrenia in their adolescence, say 16. That's why professional people used to refer to it, or still do, as a young man's disease. Because usual schizophrenia, which involves, and that's what I was going to follow up with, symptoms of schizophrenia involve, sorry, Russell, change it. It involves auditory or visual or both hallucinations. So there's a symptomatology that would have helped me know, is Raleigh truly schizophrenic or not? Maybe somebody told him. Maybe he believes it. So I was just trying to, using my background to determine, is Raleigh what he says he is? So I said, what age, Raleigh, was it diagnosed? And who did it? Expecting, well, if a psychiatrist said you're diagnosed as schizophrenic at 16, that leads credibility to the diagnosis, right? Just wanting to know the truth. What did Riley do? He left. So I still don't know. But before that, it was pleasant. I'm glad I brought him up. And then he made a comment somewhere. I could be good, but I'm not. Whatever. That doesn't cross the line. You get it? Just truth, folks. I don't want to give my time to bullshit. And there's so much, right? And I like some of the people, and they like me. And a lot of people I don't, and they don't like me. But most of those people are banned. Most of those people aren't talented. I only want people that I can have good stream with, like Nocto. Nocto can be, I think, possibly great. But he doesn't want to give his truth, and that's fine. Or he's thin-skinned, and that's fine. But if you're up here, I'm going to try to do my best to have good streaming. And people attack me. Oh, I set up people. No, I don't. I provide conditions that can allow a great stream, like Scotty versus Lauren. And there's been many one-on-one. Marie came up. She had been with Winkler. Winkler, they were in love. Winkler left UK, where Marie was. Oh, this is on air. I don't know this private stuff out there. It's public. You get it? And Marie Winkler had to come back to America, I think for visa reasons, and he took up with another woman. So he played around on Marie. Marie loved him. Whatever you think about Marie. Winkler came to America, got lonely, started fucking this lady named Tiffany. All this was in the open on air, partly because Winkler came on Shaw, Marie came on Shaw, and the woman Tiffany he was playing around with came on air, and the three of them gave great truth. That was great streaming. I didn't call them up, I don't think. I didn't know what was going to happen, but as a streamer, I presented it to you for you to judge. And the more I streamed, I learned. I learned that I used to have big panels, a lot of views, big panels, a lot of views, but I got tired and bored of it because I wanted the real, and I discovered the best is one-on-one. You can't hide. People on the panel can't obfuscate and say the word correctly. Should never say it again. They got in the way. I want truth, but the views are good. Authority Check has panels, far more views than me, but I don't watch. I like the real. I like the one-on-one, and let's see who's better. And people saw, I think, subjectively anyway, that Lauren crushed Scotty the first time. Lauren crushed Scotty the second time. Scotty doesn't want to come up here. I don't need you up against Scotty. The trilogy's done. If you come up, I'll talk to you. I like being on air with you. She makes like, oh, she's going to hurt Shaw by not coming up. No. I think you're done. I think 3 times with Lauren is enough. So these people make like they're hurting me by not coming up. I'm monologuing. You dig? Sometimes I get a lot of views. Sometimes I'll get 17 people. Sometimes like in the early days, I'm not old, and I want to prove it. And I said a good way of proving it that I don't have to show my face is it's a fact of life. And I've had older relatives. I've read about this, that unfortunately when men get older, their prostate isn't as good, and they have to pee a lot, right? I know this through old people in my own family, my grandfather. So I'll go on air, and I don't have to pee that much. I'm not old. And I went 19 hours with one need to pee. Old man can't do that. Can an old man go 28 hours? Can an old man go 19 hours? But people don't want the proof. And then AOC said, well, don't show your face, show your fingers. I know it's kind of weird, but fingers do tell a story because they're exposed, right? We're clothed and protected, but fingers are out there. So there's something, I looked it up, maturation of the finger. I showed it. Obviously, my finger shows my not old age, young, middle age, or even younger, no liver spots. And yet people didn't state the truth. Maybe the confirmation bias. Maybe they didn't want the hand to be truthfully appraised. But my finger is out there. It's kind of weird, right? Because people talk about my finger. And not only that, but a finger was involved in what happened to me 16. So all these associations, even with spit, because I beat up a guy because he spit at me. And then I said the worst thing I ever done was during a separation. I spit in the direction. Worst thing I ever did. Pretty bad. Forgiven. So I speak the truth. But people like Pay Pig, people like Andy, people like Karina, this hate, people like Charlotte, you don't want the truth. You want the hate, don't you? So I come back to why I do this. Calling out good versus evil. most people probably fall in the beginning, fall in the middle. I don't want to be cynical, but I become defenseful. And that's too bad because I have plenty of real life stories, plenty that I'm not going to tell you. I want to, but they'll be twisted because the stories I've told, and it's a cute little story with a prostitute in Amsterdam. Nobody was hurt. I learned a lesson in human relations that don't let my vanity get the better of truth, right? It was like calling me a little bit of a fool, but it wasn't, I don't think it was hateful. I like myself. Sometimes I say mean things, probably to my wife, and I feel bad. The feeling bad part is the good part because a psychopath, and I believe AOC is, they don't feel bad. You get that, right? That you need to feel bad because it shows you have a conscience. And if people don't have a conscience, bad news. I wish Trump would have more compassion. It'd make him a better president, better father, and I'm coming back to. We're all watching the Trump family, and you all watch the body language. Body language is real, and it don't look good between Melania. What about the way Trump treats his kids? Barron. I mean, in my family, there's a lot of hugging going on with your kids, with your mama, with your brothers. There's not much of that. Trump seems oddly dissociated from human relationships. And that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Obama, I didn't agree with a lot of his liberal policies, but he seemed a good guy, someone I could respect. Happily married, married a long time, and the body language. Watch Obama and his wife. I think you see the love. And what about the few times you saw Obama with his two daughters? Human emotion. That's what's missing. So I've always wanted to know the biographies of people. Who are they really? Who is Bill Cosby really? Is he really the father of America? Well, it turned out he's a criminal, that he's evil and perverse. And I'm interested in the real, which is why I love biographies, which is why I read Ron Chernoff's biography of Washington, because I wanted the truth about Washington. And he did have trouble with his teeth. He didn't chop down no cherry tree. That he did maybe end up killing a lot of Native Americans. He overspent. He cared about the appearance of wealth, but he was a great guy in real life too. He had his negatives, right? The biggest negative, the most obvious one, that history will not forget. But you have to look at the context that George Washington owned human beings. He owned slaves. And he didn't act on his belief. And in the biography, it was acknowledged that one of the closest people to Washington was his black slave who helped clothe him and take care of him. And Washington spoke wonderfully of this black man. And it was obvious that Washington understood that this friend of his and slaves are human beings. So it's a myth. You know, there's this myth that slave owners looked upon the slaves as animals. Well, they usually got to know some of them intimately, and they had to have known that black people are people, slave or not. So that is the one true charge, the worst charge ever on American history, that we once upon a time, our country owned or made it legal to own human beings and called them slaves. And Lincoln knew it. He called slavery was a stain upon America. But we're great, and it takes us a time speaking as American, but we get there. We get to the good. Sometimes we stumble. Sometimes we allow 100 years of segregation in the South. Horrible, right? John F. Kennedy wanted to change that, he's kind of a hero for me. And yeah, my family loved him, but he recognized the brutality and illegality of segregation. Now, he couldn't get rid of it. It required political skills Kennedy didn't have. It required Lyndon Johnson, who became president after the assassination of Kennedy, to use Johnson's political skills, and he had been majority leader Democrat in the Senate for decades. It took him to get the laws passed that got rid of the abomination known as segregation in the South. So it just doesn't take intent. The solution requires skill, practicality, and the heart. Johnson will go down as a president with great failure called Vietnam. But on the other hand, he'll go down as enabling civil rights laws, which got rid of segregation. Mixed bag on these presidents. And you can be a bad man and do great things. Usually not. It helps to be a great man like Lincoln. Doris Goodwin called Lincoln the only perfect man she had ever studied. Well, it took Lincoln a way to get there, because in the beginning of Lincoln's political belief system, his solution was to slavery, to send all the slaves to Africa. And I don't think he probably thought of blacks as equal, but great people grow, including YouTubers or in life. Lincoln got better and better and better. And like a lot of people, he's my favorite president along with Washington. For good reason. Could we have won the Civil War without Lincoln? Because running into the final election, Lincoln was facing loss, right? And then I think the Gettysburg happened, a great victory happened. I kind of forget that. It might have been Sherman taking Atlantic City. So Lincoln, the polls indicated Lincoln would lose, and peace would be made with the South before slavery, and slavery would have continued. And then there was a great Union victory. And because of that victory, Lincoln won. Can you imagine what would happen if Lincoln had lost? Because the candidate, this ex-general who was supposed to win, wanted to make immediate peace with the South without victory. So God gave us Lincoln. How wonderful. Where are the latest great politicians? Name some. And that's the reason our country's in trouble. Maybe a practical Obama. Obama character, but Obama was too weak and a facilitator. So maybe someone will step up. It wasn't Harris, and unfortunately, it's not Trump. I want Trump to succeed, but Trump just isn't it. Hopefully the war will turn out good for America and the world. But some of the things Trump has done, people die, he's nasty. He goes after people who criticize him. He's gone after the ex-FBI director, Comey, for what? For a phony charge. The Comey did something with seashells. So a great American patriot doesn't go after enemies in unlawful or vicious ways. But Trump is a vicious man. Unfortunately, I'd love for him to become a better man. Probably not going to happen. But yeah, I want America to win. I always want America to win, as we should. Brutal Mafia loves America. He's constantly praising USA and hoping for good. So Brutal Mafia is a mixed guy too. He's in the middle, but he's done good things. He helped May Noodles, which helped me because then I could be a friend of hers. If I wasn't a friend of May Noodles, I'd be doxxed. You know this story? Why am I friends with May Noodles? If I'm doxxed, bad things could happen to my family based on what people have done to other streamers. Someone might show up. I don't want anyone showing up to Andy Cruz's door. Don't make Andy like I want that. Absolutely do not. I call out YB clips, but I was talking about, and I'm coming back like to the beginning of the stream, Andy Cruz is responsible for his talk about fingering a 15-year-old in a car. I heard him say it. Heard him say it. Didn't make it up. Don't make me responsible for the crud that you said, Andy Cruz. But he wants to, right? And the haters want to turn that on me. You said it, and people should listen to the yards. And I don't support YB Clips. He's a doxer. But he did present YB Clips, a recorded stream of Andy Cruz in which Andy talked about fingering, which is gross, might be illegal, might be a 15-year-old minor. And people want to pretend I'm the problem? Pretend. Have the more people like you. How many times have I talked about Barabbas? How many times? Why? The mob, popular opinion, is often wrong. Popular opinion wanted U.S. to go into Vietnam, Afghanistan. You get it? Sometimes the mob can be right. Our founding fathers didn't want the mob. They knew that careful consideration, rational, is better at making decisions. America is not a democracy. The majority, the mob, does not dictate. We're representative. The people elect representatives. And this is why we have a Senate, purposely by the forefathers to make sure that America was not dictated by mob, by passion. So to be a senator, you get 6 years. The House of Representatives really represents the will of the people better than the Senate. The Senate is designed to have measured decision making. And because they have 6 years, they don't feel the pressure of, say, the House of Representatives, where the members have to be elected every 2 years. Yeah, I give a little history here too. I like all kinds of things. And I like to be corrected on history. I don't know about British royalty that much. I know about Henry VIII. So I like to learn. I know a little bit about the Civil War. So let me finish. I need to finish. Lauren versus Scotty, wherever you're on the internet, is epic. And it's because of me, because I let the two of them go one-on-one. Sometimes people would come up for hours. If I was on TV, I couldn't do it. If I was big streamer, people would probably say, bring someone else up, but I do what I want, and other people have said this. I know it. 3 streams, Lauren versus Scotty for hours. Epic. The last time Scotty was at her best. But she didn't win because Scotty's not likable. Lauren is. In real life, right? You want to be around people you like. Here too. Here too. I'll be with enemies. I'll go one-on-one with Andy. He don't want it anymore. He doesn't need to be because it's obvious. Obvious. Someone will get the better of me. It's happened twice. Happened twice. But 8 years, that's it. Because I'm a great streamer. If I was, I've said this before, it's a demographic. If I was in a book club YouTube, I probably wouldn't be the smartest or the most educated, but in this demographic, where I should actually be other places, this is where I choose to stand. It's a hobby. It's a good hobby for the most part, because I get to meet people like Lauren, like Tip, Brutal Mafia, a lot of Evil Abe used to be my favorite. What happened? Got mean, got drunk, got inappropriate. First time I heard him say he was advising a man how to hurt a woman without leaving marks. In my heart, I was done. Then I confronted him, and he said, "Oh, it was just it was like a skit." He lied. What is funny? There's nothing funny about telling someone how to hurt a woman without leaving marks. So sometimes people go too far here. That was too far for me. Where is Abe? He used to be the most talented person I knew here. Gone. Unbleached. Very talented. Gone. He lost his audience. I'm amazed that people still talk about me. So what is it about us? That we're good people. People know, or honest people know, we try to do good. We're interesting. We're smart. We can fight. We're creative. And here Lauren is. Here Lauren is. And here I am, shocked.